Um, Sanibonani, igama lami nguThabani Manikhameth. Um, um, Sanibonani Kameth. Sanibingelela kulolu suku lwanamhlanje. Um, Mfowethu,
Hey, baba.
alright kodwa.
Hayi mfethu. Ave ngidlala ngawo mfethu akufane. Hamba kanjani lapha?
Hamba kahle.
Hayi ugrand. Ngalapho?
So cela ukuxolisa kuqala. Ngabe siyagijima amajimu nani yabo zonke lezo zinto yabo. Bengithi ngizoshaya ngesikhathi. Bese ngiyaxolisa kakhulu mfethu. Yeah.
Hayi. Akuhluphi.
Akuhluphi mfethu. Mfethu igama lami nguThabani mina. Igama lami nguThabani kwaManikhameth ngadlala isibongo eMgungundlovu KwaZulu Natal. Sikhuluma ngezinto eziningi, sikhuluma ngepolitiki, but nje not ipolitiki nje kuba sithanda ukukhuluma, but into esifuna ukuyenza sifuna ukuthi sibe nezwe elizophumelela lizokwazi ukuthi liye phambili. Khona lento ekuthiwa ipolitiki yezomnotho. Uma sikhuluma ngepolitiki yezomnotho, sikhuluma ngokuthi bakhuluma nge-radical economic transformation. So lento le radical economic transformation kahle uma uthi uyayibuka noma uthi uyayibheka, asikhulumi lana, sikhuluma kahle ukuthi sakha kanjani umnotho noma sivula kanjani umnotho ukuze abantu bakithi in particular abamnyama bakwazi ukuthi bangene, bakwazi ukuthi baparticipate emnothweni, bangalahlekelwa and futhi bangalahlekelwa amathuba angabakhona bayakwazi ukuthi bawathole emnothweni. Okwethu ukuthi njengey'nsizwa eseziwuhambile umhlaba, umfowethu sikhuluma naye useChina, lapho azinze khona kwamanje ukuthi okuphi wena osukubonile noma okufundayo noma ukubona ukuthi kungasiza ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sibe yizwe siphumelele. Ngoba uma uhamba ezweni lakithi abantu abasha bakhala ngokuthi awekho amathuba emisebenzi. Kodwa uthe wena mawubuka wathi uma engekho amathuba emisebenzi eSouth Africa, mina into engizoyenza ngizohamba ngofuna amathuba ngaphandle kwezwe lakithi eSouth Africa ukuthi okuphi lokho ongakukhuluma noma ongakusho, uvule abantu amehlo ukuze bakwazi ukubona ukuthi kahle yes kunzima but amathuba akhona futhi singakwazi ukuthi sizakhele thina amathuba emisebenzi.
No, ngibonga mfethu. Ngicela ukuqala ngokuzazisa nje igama uSimoh kaGagai. Nami ngisuka khona lapha eThekwini mfethu. Ngisuka ngakaMashu naseMlazi. So umama wangaMashu, ubaba uqhamuka ngaseMlazi. Kodwa okwamanje ke ngizinze eChina njengoba usabekile nje mfethu. NgingaseNorth. Mawusondela ngala ngako Russia. Kunesithe ekuthiwa Italian. Ngihleli lapho kwamanje. So mfethu ngizongena nje kosuku ngidlalile already. I think mfethu mesikhuluma nge-economics ne-politics, yabo izinto lezo ezi-impacta wonke umuntu, whether you are inland or offland, because just because angikho ekhaya njengamanje akusho ukuthi angisasiyi-South African and whatever okwenzakalayo ekhaya kusangithinta nami, yabo. Kungenzeka mhlawumbe ukuthi kune-impact enkulu kakhulu kumuntu osekhaya than mina ngingekho ekhaya, but esengikubukile ngakuqhathanisa nje kakhulu mfethu ukuthi kulenze ngilona eChina i-unemployment rate I think idlala la ku-2%, yabo, low ngale ndlela less than 5%. And well kunezinto zehlukile into eningi kakhulu in terms of governance than ekhaya. La governance owns iland 100%, then you can build lapho kuleyo land, but you don't own the land. You can own whatever is on top of it, but government takes the ownership, and there's a lot of power ehlala with government. Ukuthi into ehlukile ke nasekhaya ngicabanga ukuthi yila mhlawumbe izinto eyimosheka khona ngendlela ukuthi ihluke ngakhona, not saying or not suggesting ukuthi iSouth Africa mhlawumbe sekufuneke manje ikhopishe indlela ugovernment osebenza ngayo la eChina, but what they doing la kuyasebenza, and indlela okuhluke ngayo ekhaya is that well njoba wazi njengamanje ukuthi kunalezi zinto zokubuyiselana komhlaba. Kune-post nje engiqeda uyishare njengamanje, mhlawumbe abantu bengayi-check-a ku-wall yami. It's about inamba eku-WhatsApp mfethu ukuthi ungasenda i-text kwenziwa ama-application okubuyiselana komhlaba. So abantu abazami manje ukuthi bevuke kuleyo nto yabo, asingalalisi abantu. Ngicabanga into eshayo kakhulu eyenza ukuthi because ugovernment ithina labantu abasephalamende, they supposed to represent ama-interest ethu. Actual government is mina nawe as South African citizens. So izinto ey'kanjena meseyivela abantu kubalulekile ukuthi beyisukumele, yabo, otherwise siyokhala unomphela, because ngigxila kuleli point nje ngempela mfethu, ngoba I believe ukuthi ilona umnotho usemhlabeni ukwiland. So mawunganayo iland mfethu, ya ungakwenza okunye, kodwa sesikhuluma ukuthi umnotho ozozuzisa ngisho igeneration elandelayo nekanjalo kuqhubekele kuya phambili. Asike sibhenge impela lento sabantu emaningi ke namanye ama-business ideas ngasiyo le kuphela, but ukuthi ithande ukuba relevant ngoba kunale post futhi ade ngiyibona just before siqala. But yeah mfethu, bese ngaphinde futhi sibuyele nakule content oke wakhuluma ngayo earlier on, because ziningi izinto engenziwa abantu ngempela mfethu ukuthi sike sizame uku-improve i-situation indlela eyiyona njengamanje, yabo. Mina I get really concerned ngicabanga ukuthi how bad things are ekhaya, because angifuni ukuthi mhlambe nami ngize ngigugele or ngifele emazweni, yabo. Ngelinye ilanga ngathanda ukuthi ngiyibone sengiphindele ekhaya ngokuthi sengiyoseklisha, angisazi ukuphinde futhi ngihlale kwelinye izwe. But isimo mesikanjena into okuyicabanga ubonthi ngeke ilunge kahle, yabo. So lokho kuzolunga ngokuthi siqale sivulana amehlo nje. Mawukwazi ukuthi ngibona into yenzayo ngavuleka amehlo mfethu, nami kwangakudlulisela lokho komunye umuntu, izohamba kanjalo leyo chain, izinto zizekwazi ukugcina ukuthi zibe ngcono kunalento eziyiyona.
Uma uthe ukhuluma ngokuthi abantu base-China umhlaba ba-ownish bona, futhi bathi bayenza imali
kakhulu mfethu, kakhulu. Lokho mfethu yabona indlela okuyiyona la eChina ukuthi ugovernment unale power, akusiyi democratic country le, yabo, abanayo democracy. Noma kuthiwa into abavumelani nayo, kodwa ugovernment mase ishilo ihamba ngale ndlela. So ugovernment wala unepower esimanga, yabo, akwaziyo leyo power futhi ukuthi ayisebenzise ukuthi izwe luthuthuke fast. It's not ukuthi nje mhlambe ugodla ipower kulento eyenzeka kabe ekhaya, yabo, ukuthi awusopolitiki bethu mfethu bayicabangela bona isisu sabo nemndeni yabo kuqala, and then abantu baba ama-sacrifice lapho, yabo. Government walana ipower uyiholda esayidini lakhe, but uyakwazi ayisebenzise ngendlela ukuthi uku-improve izinto zabantu, like for example nje mfethu, credit la kulula ukuthola i-credit uma uyi-China. Credit ilula ngale ndlela eyisimanga, and ayibe isisindo, ama-interest nje awubala, it's almost like ayikho nhlobo, ayibe isisindo kumuntu. Ukuthenga into eyindlu, ukuthenga indlu nje akubizi ngemali yalana, uyayithenga nje i-flat eliphilayo kwangempela, because yonke indawo hamba khona kwama-flats, nalezi engakabi ama-flats but zi-under development. So ukuthenga nje indlu esile nje, indlu ngempela ngicabanga mhlawumbe ekhaya ungayithenga over $1 million, la ingakhosta anything from 100,000 to 200,000 nge-currency yala.
Omunye umuntu uzothi-ke mfowethu, le mithetho yala eNingizimu Afrika yenza ukuthi kube nzima ukuthola i-credit. Yenza ukuthi kube nzima ukuthi yenzela ukuthi isiqinisele umnotho mhlawumbe singagcini sifana namazwe njengo-Greece la khona umnotho wakhona washona phansi nazonke lezo zinto. So ukuthi wena ngamanye amazwi abantu base-China bayakwazi ukuthi kube lula ukuthola i-credit. Bese uhulumeni wakhona noma abantu bakhona benze njani ukuthi ungatholi baboleka abantu imali bese beyabaleka bangayikhokhi imali igcina sengene ukuthi ama-check nama-balances abawabeke in place ukuthi izimo enjenganalezo noma abantu bakhona bayasaba ukuthi thatha imali ngiyejele ngizoboshwa kwenzeka kanjani kuhamba kanjani ukuze kubaleke lezi zinto ukuthi ugcina ungagcini unezwe labantu abanezikweletu eziningi abangayikhokhi futhi.
I think that lento ngizoconnecta lezi zinto ade sengiyibalile yabo. Yakhumbula ukuthi earlier on ngathi unemployment rate la around 2%, it's less than 5%. Ilow ngale ndlela esimanje. And secondly, i-credit ayisindi mawusu uyisebenzisile wenza leso sikweletu. Akube isindo ukuyikhokha in terms of ama-interest abawa edayo. So into eke ishaye amazwe egcina ukuthi ngenxa yokuprovider or ukusebenzisa i-credit kakhulu kwi-loan kwi-economic cycle yabo is because unika umuntu it's like ngizokuboleka imali but ayikho indlela enguaranteed ukuthi uzoyibuyisa ngayo. So abantu la njengoba i-employment rate i-high kangaka almost wonke umuntu uyasebenza unomsebenzi uqashiwe, there's a guarantee ukuthi okay lo muntu uzokwazi ukuthi ayikhokhe le mali because uyasebenza uthola i-salary at the end of the month and naso isikweletu lesi mase nesikweletu asizokube isindo kuyena. So i-cycle iqhubeka kanjalo ukuthi okay abantu bayasebenza vele so singabanika ngezikweletu bazoyibuyisa le mali but as long as because into mfethu ebulala into eziningi nje unemployment but leyo nto sekufuneka siyithathe siyenze responsibility yethu manje because asikwazi ukubeka hlezi government yabo. Kufuneka sibe leyo generation ejikayo izinto ngeke ukuthi like past generations bakhala nga same thing nathi sikhala same thing should leyo nto nje mfethu sizoyenza manje idlulele phambili kanti ayilungile.
Bese siba nalento ukuthi kulonyaka la eNingizimu Afrika sizoba nohulumeni we-local government nama-spheres amathathu kahulumeni, uhulumeni omkhulu wa-national, sibe nohulumeni we-province, bese siba nohulumeni lo semazingeni aphansi umasipala. Kuney'khala ey'ningi omasipala abaningi bayimosha imali, imigaqo uyabheda umasipala, iy'dingo zabantu abakhele umasipala abayitholi, umasipala abaningi balawulwa ngabaqondisi abathile noma baphuciwe amandla ngenxa yokuthi kudliwe imali ziyalahleka imali. Ukuthi umsebenzi ngendlela mawuzobuka ngayo umsebenzi ka-local government lapho eChina no-local government wethu noma kukhona umehluko khona noma umuntu ngiyaye ngibuke eNigeria noma kune-corruption but kusekuqala lento yokuba ne-competition amongst ama-governors akhona ukuthi sifuna ukukompitha because sifuna ukuthi i-office lami engilibambile ngalesikhathi lingithathe mhlambe lingenze lingise mhlambe ku-national ngoba ngifuna ukuba u-president. So ngifuna ukwenza ama-projects azongifakela ubuso khona ngizobonakala ukuthi ngiyasebenza. Whereas sometimes it's the opposite. Uthola ukuthi uma utravela eKZN noma utravela nje eSouth Africa uyathola ukuthi kuney'ndawo ey'ningi la khona ukuthi umgaqo ukhona but kunama-stop and go sekuphela 10 years, 5 years, 7 years ukuthi local government wase-China wona usebenza kanjani noma uyayinika yini lokhuza ukuthi njengoba sikhethiwe sifanele sisebenzele umphakathi futhi siyimisele ukuthi siwuthuthukise umphakathi noma nakhona nje local government uyafana nalo wala wakithi eSouth Africa ukuthi hayi abantu bazenzela umathanda akekho umuntu ofuna ukusebenza ngoba efuna ukuthuthukisa umphakathi. Uhamba kanjani ngalapho?
Okay mfethu, so ake ngiqale ngale side le corruption. Angidlale ngayo corruption mfethu. ngathi into eyenzeka yonke indawo ngasho njalo because ikhona nala but it difference ukuthi ayikho that's obvious njengasekhaya yabo. Sekuyaziwa it's like into esisemthethweni nje mfethu yabo. For instance uyowenza license sekuyazi ukuthi ufuneka ukhiphe drink sekuyinto nje standard yaziwa into ekanjalo azikho la mfethu yabo not ukuthi azikho aziqamile njengasekhaya yabo ikhona at a high level kodwa at a very high level uthi mhlambe ukuthola ithenda lama million senzokhuluma endleleni khulumisana ngaso yeah into enzakala i-corruption nala but ayikho to a point ukuthi isi part of normal life elona empilweni zabantu and njengoba ngisho nje mfethu ukuthi yes we can copy lokho esikubonayo mhlawumbe ukuthi ku right okwenzakalayo or try to do something similar to that but it doesn't mean ukuthi nathi sekufanele si behave njengelinyizwe esingalona because si South Africa nathi si unique sineyinkinga zethu yabo izwe unique ngokwalo mina ngendlela ebengibuka ngayo or indlela engayisuggest ukuthi sabantu I think into yokuqala ukuthi ake sifunde lento yokusebenzisana because yeah it's possible ukuthi I can do it by myself now ungakwenza ngokwakho but sesikhathini esokuthi it's better to do it with someone along you to share the load and also make the fights ibe successful because if kukuthi si pusha ngokuhlukana umuntu nomuntu uhamba ngendlela yakhe I can only go so far but if where I end you start then iphenduka icycle leyo nto yabo vice versa iphenduka icycle leyo nto so I think okubaleka kakhulu nje mfethu for South Africa ukuthi ake kufunde lento okwenziwa izinto ngama group yabo la eChina ayikho kakhulu leyo nto abantu bayisebenzela industry
uma singabuka le ndaba ye technology kunenkulumo nje kulelizwe lakithi indima edlalwa i-technology emsebenzi ikhuluma abantu bakhuluma ngobo 5G bekune COVID mhlambe angazi uzoqala ngako bekune COVID useChina kusanda kuphuma umongameli waseAmerika uDonald Trump obethi China virus because suka kulelizwe lekhona ukuthi kunenkolelo futhi especially eWest ukuthi i-data eChina ama-statistics niyafihla nithi mhlambe uma kunabantu abawu-10 abane corona nithi khona 1 noma nivele nithule ningayikhiphi leyo information kunenkolelo yokuthi i-technology yona ekhoza i-corona kunenkolelo yokuthi nje emalokishini kakhulukazi abantu endaweni nje uPremier kade ethula iSOP State of the Province Address ensukwini la khona ekugcizeleka kwakhuluma kakhulu ngokuthi abantu bashaya ama-towers e-5G because banenkolelo yokuthi iyona eletha ukugula noma nazo zonke lezo zinto ukuthi kuwena noma ukubaleke ngani le technology eza ne-5G kubaleke ngani le infrastructure ukuthi bekhona kubaleke ngani yini into i-technology engasiza ngayo ukuthi sephambili and okuphe singakwenza ukubhekana nezifo eziningi ezihlasela mhlambe eda nje mhlambe kuloko sine problem yama drugs emalokishini kakhulukazi but umbuzo uthi abantu abasha bangangena ku technology bakhohle indaba zama drugs noma nje ngeke sesizakala ngalutho inkolelo ekhona ngendaba ze-5G i-COVID ukuthi nina nihleli kulamazwe I'm sure nasekhaya bakhathazekile ukuthi uhleli kanjani lapho kube kunje kubika ukuthi nokuthi ukuthi u-adjusta kanjani noma uphila kanjani kuleli zokuphila kulona and eziphi izinto oyifundayo ezikhulumele ngezinto zepolitics akhuluma ngezinto zomnotho but nge-technology singakusebenzisa i-technology lapho ibonayo singakwazi siyisebenzise ukuze ikwazi ukuthi sithuthukise thina sikwazi isisephambili
no mfethu ngicabanga ukuthi ake ngiqale ngokubeka ukuthi i-COVID mfethu isifike nezinto eziningi and I think kunezinto engeke saphinde zibuyele kulesimo ade zisona before i-COVID yabo and okuhamba naloko ke mfethu ukuthi sekunama conspiracies amaningi ukuthi angeke ayikho engizoyidefenda ayikho engizoyisupporta yeah maningi nje too much akusinto engiwalandela kakhulu. Also futhi I don't have all the facts. All I know ukuthi sekuzofuneka is-adjust. It's survival of the fittest njengamanje. Who can adapt to the change, then they will move on with time. Those who cannot, then bazosalela ngemuva, because we are moving to a different era manje. And when it comes to technology, I don't think, in fact, I don't think abantu mfethu ufuna ngabe bayi-rejecta indaba ye-5G njengoba kwenzeka, because yabona nje ngitshela nje mfethu la eChina i-technology has taken over. Izinto eziningi nje mfethu, like ayisasebenza into eyi-tangible. Ucash nje mina mfethu angikusebenzisi hlobo, card lasebhenki angilisebenzisi, yonke into esebenza ngefoni for everything basically. Ifoni yami mayicishile angikwazi ukwenza lutho, angikwazi ukuthatha transport, angikwazi ukuthenga lutho, yabo. So kuningi mfethu okuzofika ne-5G okukuthi like if abantu bezodukiseka kanje, because the moment abantu behlalela kwifiye ila bedukiseka khona kalula, yabo. Ngicabanga ukuthi na lento ukuthi inamba kuphinde kudlalwe ngazo ukuthi mhlambe njengoba ushilo ukuthi mhlambe kuzoshona umuntu oyedwa ngenxa yalesi sifo, but kuthiwa babe bawu-5. Lokho kukhulisa ifiye ey'nhlizweni zabantu, and inhliziyo mayigcwele ifiye nengqondo iyadungeka, yabo. Abantu bazogcina bekholwa noma yini. But in terms of i-technology, mina ngiyafisa impela mfethu abantu beke bethu ukuyibuka ngenye indlela, because izwe lethu lizosalela emuva if ukuthi kulithatha isikhathi ukuthi li-accept and li-adapte to ilona indaba ye-5G. But for those who are interested in understanding better about izinto ezo-improve with technology coming in i-5G, I've seen ukuthi at DUT they have a program, and I think it started last year if I'm not mistaken, and it's in partnership with the China. So bafundisa ngazo the new technology, and now they participate in 5G. And umnotho, for those who will be faster, that's why there was this trade warfare between China and America, because it was like a race to who's gonna get to the new technology, because whoever gets there first means they're gonna be leading economically. And China, if you like the most powerful country, if you take over America. So if Tinage sisabalekela on the opposite side from our countries afuna ukuba number 1 lapha engakhona, sabantu impilo zethu ngeke ziyendawo kakhulu.
Usuthinta izinto eziningi mfethu, uthinte ukubaleka ukuthi okuba lula kokuthola ucredit, uthinta ukubaleka ukuthi sibe izwe elizoba ne-technology and futhi si-embrace i-technology, ngoba uyasho ukuthi lo ohamba phambili nge-technology yena yena olidayo ngokomnotho. Ukhuluma ngokuthi wena ukhuluma ngokuthi wena usawuphatha ucash, usebenzisa ifoni yakho nje mayifile, noma sorry not ifile, iphelelwe ibhetri, usemuva kakhulu noma ukwazi ukwenza lutho. Ukuthi umthelela we-technology ne-good governance ne-working class mangayibiza kanjalo efundile as a driver kwi-economy, because ukhulume ngokuthi kulula ukuthola umhlaba eChina futhi abantu bakhona bayenza imali. Wakhuluma ukuthi ikhona kodwa corruption, kodwa abantu bakhona ngifuna ukusebenzisa igama lethi ba-innovative, ukuthi abalindi uhulumeni ukuthi kube uhulumeni ozobatshena ukuthi benzeni, baba nama-initiatives abawathatha abawenzayo nabayithathela wona, abasusa la bekhona ukuze bakwazi ukuthi baye phambili ukuthi okuphi-ke ongathi uma ubuka nje uma uze ekhaya eSouth Africa ufika ukubuka ukuthi yazi I think mesingakwenza ukuthi singaphumelela kuma sectors abalekile eSouth Africa ngizokubalela nje ama sectors sikhuluma ngendaba yokuthi kuzoba ye-agriculture, sikhulume ngendaba ye-manufacturing, sikhulume ukuthi kule mkhakha into esesiyibukile ngomhla ka-1 January kusayinwe lento ekuthiwa i-African Trade Agreement, i-African Free Trade Agreement ezovumela ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sidayise impahla yethu ngokukhululeka ezweni lase-Afrika siphinde sithuthukise umnotho ukuthi kunezinto eziningi esingaze creator kwi-value chain yokuthi njengokuthi for example uma wakha imoto ungawalandi uthola uso 90% wama-parts walanda from China, from Vietnam, from Japan and all those South Korea and wena ufika nje so assemblisha ukuthi ezinye izinto mahlala phansi sibuka ukuthi singakwenza noma singakuthatha la noma singakuthola lo creator imisebenzi ukuthi uma ufika eSouth Africa noma ubuka nje ukuthi yazi ekhaya singakwenza ukuthi eMlazi singakwenza ukuthi eThekwini singakwenza ukuthi akudingeni nanokuthi size silinde kube nabantu abaningi esibalindile ukuze sikwazi ukuthi senze lezi eziphona izinto mothi mayibuka ukuthi singakwenza ukuthi
Mfethu yazi point ongena kulona manje limnandi kakhulu kumina because uthinte ama sector amabili that are very close to my heart. Agriculture basically yi backbone ye human life yabo, because without agriculture abantu ngeke bephile akho kudla yabo, and in manufacturing ngiqhamuka kuyona, so I'm highly skilled and well experienced in manufacturing, and also khuluma nge manufacturing of cars yabo, into leyo futhi ke eke represent ukuthi i-country i-developed kangakanani yabo. Yabona mawubheka maningi, especially western side, maningi ama-countries azakhela iy'moto zaba nama-brand abo. ESouth Africa asinako lokho njengoba dusho ukuthi siya-assemblisha kuphela. It's not ukuthi asinaso skill, but we are not advancing to that level, and that is setting us way backwards. I do believe ukuthi iSouth Africa ingakhona ukuthi izakhele ama-inputs or material, you know, for izinto ey'fana nemoto, for everything actually, like to do with manufacturing. If kuguthi we outsource, kungaba mbalo esik-outsourca ngaphandle yabo. It's just a matter of ukuthi abantu bebambisane yabo and create a value chain, because there's no value chain if kuguthi wonke ama-materials aqhamuka from outside of the country siya-assemblisha kuphela. Leyo nto, it doesn't really set economy up yabo, because ne-industry leyo leyo manufacturing ayizu ukuba conducive for i-workforce, because if kuthi yonke material ithathwa ngaphandle, that would mean more cost for the business, and normally businesses, if kuthi ama-cost arana high ngempela, abantu abasafarisha kuqala are people on the ground yabo. They would make sure that they keep everything else, they keep equipment, they keep assets, but kusafarisha abantu egcineni with imholo emncane, and zonke lezo zinto yabo. Uthola ukuthi i-graduate mayithola i-internship, sibone ukuthi okay, at least something is happening yabo. If kuguthi after internship ithola umsebenzi, i-payment yakhona, it doesn't really equate to iminyaka ayifundile neyifundo ukuthi zibo malini skill asitholile yonke leyo nto, and then leyo cycle iphinda ngoba uzothi mase ethola omunye umsebenzi bathi bacela ukubona i-pay slip yomsebenzi ade wenza before. So abantu uyabona ukuthi bastaka kwinto A1. Khona i-point mfethu oliphakamisile ebengithi ngifuna ukubuyela kulona, sengivele ngangena deep kakhulu kuleli ngakhohle ukuthi okunye ukuthi. So ilona mfethu into engicabanga ukuthi singayenza ngempela sabantu ukuze siqhubele phambili nathi singasaleli emuva economically. ney'mpilo zabantu zi-improve. Yilo kade ngisho mfethu asifunda ukubambisana. I believe ukuthi mfethu umakhelwane wami emetshala ikabishi mina ngino-anyanyisi sesikhona isishebo lapho, yabo. If kuwukuthi singabuyela emasisweni ngempela abantu befunde le ndlela yakudala yokuphila, if kuwukuthi it comes to that, singakwazi ukuthi umphakathi wasemlazi wathi okay mhlambe usunendawo yawo nje otshala khona, suka lapho iy'tshalo mhlambe ziya kwi-supermarket ekhona la eMlazi, futhi kuleyo supermarket abantu bathenga khona igrosa yabo. Leyo nto ukhumbule futhi ukuthi isizobe si-create namathuba omsebenzi, so imali isizokwazi ukuthi i-rotate 5 to 10 times within the same community before iphumela ngaphandle. If yenza leyo nto, isinkwa sihlalile kaSimo, isinkwa sihlalile kamakhelwane kaSimo, because imali idlulile ezandleni zabo labantu. But if the first thing ukuthi imali iphumela ngaphandle, then bambala bazolala bedlile, yabo. Funeke iqalise
uma sibuka ipointi lokuthi sisanda kukhushulela ugesi, because ugesi wethu, uhulumeni wethu akazange aplane kusanesikhathi ukuthi alungise indaba kagesi. Kuma input ethu okwenza umnotho, ugesi uyabiza, meaning ukuthi for zokuthathela nje industry yokudla, for example, industry yokudla ithenga amafutha from Indonesia or from those countries Southeast Asia lapho na palm oil khona. It costs billions in dollars or millions in dollars, because cooking oil loss now it's in our last as long as palm oil. So it cost uma kwenza fluctuate nje idollar washona phezulu washona phansi kuyanyuka zonke impahla. Ubuka kwi-agriculture ithina esikhiqizayo, but ukudla kwethu kufanele ngabe ku-cheap but kuyabiza. Ukuthi now usunawo kumphakathi wasemlazi seya-create amabhizinisi-ke, but when it comes to ama-cost nendlela abacharge ngayo, uyabona ukuthi awu koze kwabiza. Umbila siwakha thina, but kufanele ngabe mhlawumbe isaka lu-10 rand, but bafaka imali kapetrol, bafaka imali yelokuza, ukuthi enye futhi yezinto esibhekene nazo ukuthi when it comes to ama-input kwi-economy yethu, enze ukuthi kube nzima ukuthi sibe nezinto esithi esingathi kuzophinda mase bewatholile abantu amathuba emisebenzi, baphile bakwazi ukuphila kangcono, ukuthi siyilungisa kanjani le yama-input cost emnothweni. Kunjani eChina for example, kumalini na for ugesi, kuyabiza yini for ugesi, noma ugesi waseChina nje akusafani nakudala la khona ugesi wawucheap ukhona wabokhanyisa ugesi kuze kube nabo, ukuthi when it comes to ugesi, comes to upetrol nazo zonke lezo zinto, kuhamba kanjani khona. Ngiyazi ukuthi sesingena esigabeni sokuthi se-hybrid nazo zonke lezo zinto, ukuthi imoto esezohamba ngogesi nani khona, amanye ama-companies ase-test ukuthi imoto ingandiza yini. So mhlambe mesiya ku-6G no 7G, angazi kube kuyinini lapho, mhlambe sobe sihamba ngemoto endizayo. But nje besibuya sithi kuhlehla kancane siza la sikhona, nansi inkinga energy, nansi inkinga yama-input cost eSouth Africa, ukuthi okay fine sikuthola konke, but ama-input cost ethu maningi, futhi akekho okukhuluma ngayo, akekho futhi oyimisele ngokuthi ayisoyilungisa kanjani lento, ukuthi sengiqalile-ke companies, uthole ibhilidi, ngithole imishini, ngithole i-material yokuthi ngifuna uku-create le product engifuna ukuyi-create, kodwa zonke lezi zinto by the time sengodayisa sekufanele ngibale kuya kuma-millions. So angisakwazi ukuthi ngidayise ngendlela ngemali ebizoba ncane, sengizodayisa ngemali enkulu, because ngifuna ukucover ama-input cost wami, ukuthi siyilungisa kanjani njengezwe ukuthi ama-input cost ethu angabizi kakhulu. Bekunenkulumo nje edata South Africa ukuthi iyabiza idata yethu compared to amanye amazwe, ukuthi eChina khona noma emhlabeni la ukuphila khona noma izinto osuyibonile kuhamba kanjani kuma-input cost, yini le yenza ukuthi babe ne-edge. Uyabiza ugesi, uyabiza, ama-inputs ashibhile khona bakwazi ukuthi bakhompithe kahle abasebenzi bona, because nenye into abasebenzi bakithi bazothi hhayi ngifuna ukuthi sihole imali encane kuthiwa e-China holo R1 ngosuku noma u-R10 ngosuku, thina sazi ukuthi uhola u-R20 nge-hour. Sifuna ukuthi sibe ama-slaves, sifuna ukusebenza sihole kahle siphinde siphumule futhi.
No, mfethu, ake ngiqale nginike le comparison obuyibuza mfethu. Yabo izinto ey'fana ne-data, ugesi, amanzi, ayengidlale ngawo mfethu, zi-cheap ngendlela eyisimanga la. Zi-cheap ngendlela eyisimanga. Mina ngikutshele nje mfethu ukuthi ngiqale ngicacise la amanzi aphuma empompini, amanzi nje afana namanzi ase-toilet awaphuzwa. So amanzi aphuzwa ayathengwa esitolo. And i-price yakhona i-fixed, so noma bethu uyithenga kuphi iyafana, ilitha nje li-1 yen. So noma bethu uthenga 10 litha uzokhokha u-10 yen kanjalo. So ugesi mfethu ushibhile and angangidlale ngawo. Yeah, sekwenzeka mhlawumbe ukuthi ugesi ungabi khona, but kuba ama-hour ambalwa ukuthi mhlawumbe khona elungiswayo, isizathu uyasazi, and futhi mhlawumbe kube kuleyo bhilidi okulona kuphela. Okay, mhlawumbe babhizi basement contents wayo yabo, indaba zoma-load shedding azikho. Indaba i-data ishiphe ngale ndlela eyisimanga mfethu. Ngenyanga nje mina ngiyisebenzisa la i-system yakhona-ke ihlukile. I-sim card uyikhokhela every month yabo, it's not like prepaid airtime ne-prepaid data njengasekhaya yabo. Khokha every month, but ngikhokha around 50 kuya 80 UN, and reload lokho kuphela. It's not like I have to buy data and buy airtime on the side. It's just one recharge per even on my wife. So lezo zinto njengoba ngiyibala zonke, access to internet through data, ugesi, amanzi, izinto ezikwi-power ye-government leyo. And njengoba ngichazelile-ke ele on ukuthi i-corruption ikhona nakhona la, but at a very high level. It's not like ukuthi izoba ne-effect, ne-daily effect kumuntu nje, an ordinary person on the streets yabo. Ayikho, iba nje on a very high level. And u-government njengoba ngike ngakubekela futhi ele ukuthi remain the most powerful thing yabo than anything ekhona kule country, but leyo power uyakwazi ukuthi aphinde ayisebenzise ukuthi benefit abantu. That's why you get lezi zinto ey'kanjena-ke, lezi zama-basic needs yabo, like amanzi, ugesi, communication yabantu through data zishibhile yabo, because i-power government. And ila esilahleka khona-ke si-South Africa thina, ukuthi izinto ey'fana no-Eskom nje mfethu, ukuthi uma usuyilandela kahle ubona ukuthi izinto ezenziwa ngamasibomu lezi yabo, ubudedengu bamasibomu. Even to lento enza manje ukuthi abantu abaningi have opted to go for ama-solar panels, whereas ilona indaba ye-Eskom bayishiya phansi, but u-Eskom uzojike futhi athi uzoba-charge labo bantu for using solar panels. Leyo nto mfethu ngangidlale ngayo, it's so confusing to me, because it's basically, it spells out ukuthi u-government is against abantu. Even ngathiwa abantu bathi okay, you know what, it's fine, ungaqhubeka wenza ngendlela owenza ngayo noma singavumelani ngayo, sesokwenza ngenye indlela, but still ulandela abantu. Yabona into engishoyo. And in terms of average salary alana, abantu bala abaholi kakhulu yabo, but the fact ukuthi izinto zi-cheap, bayakwazi ukuthi bephile a comfortable life yabo. Manje ekhaya abantu balwela ukuthi behole kakhulu, but into eshayayo ukuthi izinto ziyabiza, because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep after you've covered all your expenses and cost yabo. So inkingi lapho nje kakhulu mfethu, but njengoba ngisho ukuthi this is not about keep on pointing fingers to the government. Yes, we know ukuthi ziningi izinto engenzeki kahle, but what are we doing? Are we just gonna sit still, keep on complaining, or siqhamuka necebo ukuthi siphuma kanjani kule situation esikuyona? Sasekhona.
Ngikhona mfowethu.
Yeah. Yeah. Now
Ngifuna
uthi ngiyiphinda. Aha.
ngifuna ukuthi uthinta ipoint lokuthi inkinga yethu noma esingathi lesingakuphendula mesingayibuka ngendlela esiyibuka ngayo singathi uthi actually inkinga yase South Africa it's not ukuthi asiwenzi ayikho ama opportunities but sinama leaders enza ngamabomu mabeka kanjalo ukuthi uneshow ukuthi enza ngamabomu noma kahle asazi ukuthi kwenzakalani thina as leaders because there is a possibility ukuthi senza ngamabomu but also there's a possibility ukuthi ama leaders wethu awazi ukuthi kwenzakalani. For example, khona lento yaqalwa i-university yase-Ivet kudala ukuthi irezele kuthiwa i-missing middle laba bengaqualify to financial aid they used to raise imali but uma uya ku-KZN nakwezinye indawo people there were not very interested ukuthi barezele ama-students imali because they believed ukuthi thina sihamba nge-communism. How do we go to capital socela ukuthi asikhokhele imali school fees uyabo so ukuthi is it because ama leaders wethu awazi or is it because ama leaders wethu awazi or it's because thina asifuna ukuvuma ukuthi khona izinto esingazazi because there's a possibility ukuthi mhlambe ama leaders wethu awazi and uma engazi ama leaders wethu sewasiza kanjani thina ukuze ama leaders wethu abone ukuthi actually siyalidinga usizo ukuze sikwazi ukuthi singabantu bakithi sibasuse lebe khona sibase phambili.
Mfethu yabona angangidlale ngayo i-twist kakhulu leyo because I think mfethu la eyonakala khona but futhi uthi moyibheka ngenye indlela ukuthi necessary ukuthi kube kanjalo but kuyamosha futhi ukuthi if ubheka mfethu abantu kuya ngokushintsha kodwa manje yabo ngizoyichaza into engizama ukuyisho ukuthi if ubheka the time mfethu sathola inkululeko kwangena i-ANC abantu ababekwa kwama high profile portfolios kwabantu ababehamba phambili kumzabalazo meaning they were committed to a party then kwabebona abathola leyo access and leyo cycle iyaqhubeka namanje so if kukuthi you end up in parliament lo muntu usuke ne-history ende nelona ne-party yabo but it doesn't always mean ukuthi they are really qualified for lo msebenzi abawenzayo yabo kunemsebenzi esensitive ngalendlela eyisimanga mfethu ukuthi idinga umuntu abe qualified and probably kube ukuthi wayo top eclassini lakhe yabo izinto ezithintana let me find an example nje mfethu izinto mhlambe say i-department yaka finance yabo not throwing any shade mhlambe kumuntu ofana noTito Mboweni or whoever has been a minister kuleyo department but it's so sensitive because if things go wrong kuleyo department people suffer kakhulu so kubalekile ukuthi umuntu oholder leyo portfolio kube ukuthi truly qualified. It's not because of loyalty yakhe kwi-party egcine imbeka kuleyo position, but it's because qualified, which also goes down to ama-companies yabo like mawufika mfethu ufika as a graduate, of which nami it's a misfortune esengaba kuyona uthi mawufika as a graduate umuntu oyithola ureporter kuyena akanalo qualification onayo, but when are you there to fill in a position yaloko qualified for kona yabo. And then kugcineke kuba sekuba nalowo mzabalizo nalowo mdonsiswano. So I think into ebaluleke kakhulu nje mfethu ukuthi ugovernment akakashintshele kuyenzeka kancane njengoba ngisho like i-EFF yayibona i-EFF iyafunda and it's attracting youth. So I think sidinga leyo approach nje manje ukuthi abantu ababe truly qualified for the positions they hold.
So I guess buye size kwezemfundo ngiye eChinatown mangiyeke ngahamba ngaya khona ngifike ngibone udayisa ama-drones khona then bese ngiyayibuza ukuthi uba uzothenga lento uzoyenza yabo, but at the same time be surprised ukuthi ama-drones ayadayisa ngale ndlela adayisa ngayo futhi agcwele yonke indawo ukuthi ngakhula kuthiwa amawashi ayi-craft eChina. Umongameli efika angazi noma kuqale ngayo, but I think ubongameli ophethe manje uRamaphosa wakhuluma ngendaba yokuthi uzointroduce i-coding esikoleni. Kusiza ngani lezi zinto ukuthi sibe nabantu abazofunda ngetechnology noma kuzothatha kanjani izwe lesisusa la likhona liye phambili mhlambe lithuthuke ukuthi sibe nabantwana abazofunda ngabo coding? Ibaluleke ngani coding? Siqale lapho kuphela because kwabanye bethu esayifundele o-history no-bips no-home economics kuduma upotiyana ukuthi kwathiwa kwakhulunywa ngo-5G manje kwakhulunywa ngo-coding. Thina sifuna sazi thina ukuthi kufanele kubuyise umhlaba. Manje umhlaba kwangabe kusakhulunywa kakhulu nabo bakhulunywa kakhulu ngendaba yo-coding. Kusisiza ngani ukuthi sibe nabantu ne-youth noma ney'ngane zesikole ezofunda ngabo-coding, zifunde ngama-drones, zifunde nangokuthi wakhiwa kanjani ama-drones, zifunde njengobusho nange-5G? Kusisiza ngani thina lokho and kusithuthukisa kanjani ukuthi sibe nabantwana abazofunda ngalezi zinto lezi?
I think mfethu leyo i-spread out through wonke ama-ages yabo, from ingane sasesikoleni primary to umuntu omdala mfethu mhlawumbe osegugayo ukuthi have an understanding of technology, because izwe esiphila kulona njengamanje lisebenzisa technology ngendlela esimanga. The more isikhathi siqhubeka, I think by 2031 level of technology esobe sikuyona, it's something we cannot imagine njengamanje. But what we need to accept and understand ukuthi anything is possible at this point, and ukhumbule ukuthi technology gains momentum, so it goes faster in pace over time. Njengoba sikwi 5G it took us, I think, about 5 years like from when we were with the 4G at the start of the 4G. It took us, I think, plus minus 5 years. I believe 6G can be introduced within 3 years or less. So once we get to that stage, sizobe way advanced. The technology is way advanced. Understand. So we need to have more kids abazokwazi ukuthi bayele esikoleni lento bayifunde, nalaba sebeyifundile i-technology already abayenzile esikoleni or universities bekwazi ukuthi be-educate laba abangazange belithole lelo thuba lokuthi befunde lento abayaziyo, ukuze abantu bezokwazi ukuyi-accept indaba ye-technology and understand ukuthi i-beneficial kanjani, ikwazi ukuthi ibasize, because it's there to help. If you don't understand it, then ungaso reject into ezokwazi ukuthi ikuphilise ngama requirements esikhathi esikusona.
Okay, I just want to as we begin to summarize, and just to start where we started, you said to me that it is important that we develop a mechanism to have easy access to credit, because if people in that country have easy access to credit, they are able to develop and to build their economy. And you also talked about the importance of having low inputs in the economy. Things like electricity, things like land, and etc. etc. That's what if a country or a government is intentional about making sure ukuthi abantu bakulelo lizwe bayithola izinto ezingama inputs for creator umnotho bakwazi ukuthi bayisebenzise. Khulume ngokuyimisela uhulumeni ukuthi leaders they are intentional about ukuthi basize abantu bathuthukise abantu bakhona baphume from poverty bangene emnothweni ukuthi they are very intentional about that thing ukuthi noma ikhona corruption but the intention is that we are doing upliftment kubantu and ophinda ukukhuluma ngokuthi kubalekile ukuthi imali ayirotate endaweni masikhuluma ngabantu basemlazi kwamashu siyeMaritzburg sikhulume ngembali nazo ukuthi imali ayirotate kuleyo community kwakhiwe i-value chain kuleyo community ukuze umnotho wakulezo ndawo kube phambili. Waphinda ukukhuluma ngokuthi the importance of having ama-programs anjengo-coding no 5G being taught at school is that it allows us to have young people or the next generation that will understand and be able to use these technologies to advance our economy and to take us forward. Now, what if masithi wena mokhuluma namhlanje use-ofisini lika-Premier, use-ofisini lika-Mongameli, ukuthi ongakusho uthi this is what this government needs to take us from last corner with 35% unemployment, you take us to a single digit unemployment in such and such a time. This is what you will be present and you will tell him or her ukuthi uhulumeni ukuthi ngisho lokhu ngokuthi nokuthi 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 nokuthi. Ingaba kubalekile ukuthi siyibone lezi zinto singayisabi China, singayisabi technology, singayisabi indaba ye-credit, singathathi ngokuthi ngoba kulelizwe kunayinkolelo especially in the banking sector for example ukuthi hayi labantu abakhokhi sinezikweleti eziningi sikwenze kube difficult uku-access baze bayincome bathi hayi siyenzile lento ukuthi kube nzima ukuthola i-credit and besenzela ukuthi izwe lethu i-reason yokuthi South Africa ngo-2008 kunale financial crisis that is what they would say iyakwazi ukusurvive. The reason why it's a country survivile namanje is because when there was a credit that was available, we made sure it was not easy for people to access the credit. They will be able to pay for it, that credits abayithathayo. So when we are manje suthi wena senze njengase-China sivele sibolekise imali sivula amathephu uyazi i-impact yalokho kwi-economy izoba kangakanani noma singakolapselwa umnotho ukuthi the reason a-financial crisis ka-2008 it is in a financial okuphi ngamanye amazwi esingakwenza to balance between yes you want to give people credit but at the same time you don't want to lose our institutions, you don't want to end up with the situation of a 2008 like financial crisis, you don't want to end up with a Greek kind of a crisis, or you don't want to end up with it, but you make sure ukuthi bayakhokha abantu bakho noma kulelo lizwe ikhona lento ukuthi mangiboleka imali fanele ngiyikhokhile.
Oh, so mfethu mina ngicela ukulona mfethu ukucacisa kahle. I don't think ukuthi you know it would be conducive for the economy as South Africa if njengamanje talking right now ukuthi ama credits abe more available to abantu because into engicabanga ukuthi kumele sifocus kuyona ekuthenini unemployment into yokuqala first things first akuthi ukwehla yona le rates enkulu ngake unemployment iyo lesibuyisela emuva. Number 2 sizama ukuthi irand silenze libe independent because we suffered kwindaba ye 2008 crisis ayizange yenzeke even in South Africa. It's because irand and njengamanje lokho engikushoyo it's not that simple because well given ama loan izinto ade zenzeka circumstances government uthathe about 577 billion from the country vele ekukuthi like control the economy yethu. I-rand is not independent. So I think once we get to that point, because if kukuthi ama-credits sithi vele aba available to everyone and anyone who needs it, of which I think the ANC is trying to do that, and I see anything I support, because I saw somewhere like ANC is amukuvula bank so that abantu bezokwazi ukuthi bebe nama-credits. Leyo nto ingenza irand libe weak even more, kuzosibuyisela emuva kakhulu. So akusiyo into engisupportayo mina mfethu. I think okubalulekile ukuthi a-create amathuba omsebenzi, abantu abakwazi ukuthi ama-basic needs akhaveke. That way impilo iyaqhubeka no matter what. Then kuye ngokukhula kwama-level and ugovernment wethu mfethu naye i-role ayidlalayo inkulu and yohlezi inkulu. So mina mathiwa nje mfethu ngithola ithuba lokuthi ngipresent umbono wami ufike mhlambe even ku-president, I think into ebalekile ngawukuthi akube ne-system. Well, it's been tried, but into ebalekile ukuthi akube ne-system esebenzayo okuwukuthi i-corruption iyaliwa kwangempela. Fine, ngeke mhlambe iphela, ngisho ukuthi kuzokwenzeka umagic ukuthi iphele enyanga, but angagcine i-impacta u-average Simo ehambela every day, yebo, ukuthi ayingabe inkinga ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi ileyo nto nje mina mfethu engiyibukayo. Once kwafayitheka leyo nto ku-governance, into eningi ingalunga. Governance is supposed to be for the people, but njengamanje I don't think kwenzeka ngaleyo ndlela. And yeah, i-community akizama ukuthi ibe independent okwamanje. Yeah, i-credit iyasiza, niyakwazi ukusenza izinto zibe lula, but I don't think ukuthi isikhathi esi-right for South Africans ukuthi ibe that's easily accessible.
Mhlambe masikhuluma ngokhetho kwakulelo lizwe, ngiyazi kwenzeke njenganala. Khona abantu base Hong Kong bafuna ukuyimela noma kwenza kanjani. China ifuna ukucontrol iHong Kong ngaphezulu kwale ndlela ade icontrola ngayo kuqala. Khona umongameli walapho Xi Jinping usazohlala esikhundleni noma usazophuma, ithini i-term limit unayo noma akanayo, noma uhamba kanjani kuyena?
I-term limit mfethu akanayo, and abanayo voting system la. So u-president u-electwa within i-party, and njengoba wazi ukuthi kune-party A1 kuphela la, only one political party, the communist, yeah, communist party. So leyo nto ukuthi upresident kube ba president wezwe kwenzeka within i-party, but i-system yabe rough kakhulu. Like into ezokutshela yona, umuntu owayeyi-contender no Xi Jinping usejele namhlanje just because waluza i-chance yokuthi abe president. So yonke into ke yase i-just downhill. Usejele namhlanje, so Xi Jinping wasebenzisa ipower yakhe ke so president ukuthi amcikelele phansi. But yeah, in terms of elections, in fact, izinto zihluke kakhulu la. Njengoba ngibekile earlier on ukuthi it's not a democratic country, so abantu they don't have the right to vote, and the president doesn't have a limited term. Kwenje ngokuthi mhlawumbe usekugile or i-party mhlawumbe decide differently. But I do believe ukuthi Xi Jinping usazohlala isikhashana. So far I spent 10 years in office. I think he can go even further.
So indoda isalo shuthi lento indaba ama-faction nokulwa akusiyo into yase South Africa kuphela. Whether upopular noma ngakho popular, umongameli mase esikhundleni benamandla ekwazi ukwasebenzisa, uyakwazi ukuqhubeka nesikhundla. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi futhi into abantu base-South Africa kufanele bayifunde ukuthi kunembukhuluma eziningi ukuthi hayi lo mongameli siyamthanda sifuna umongameli esimthandayo siyasifuna ukuthi sometimes akusebenzi kanjalo kusebenza ukuthi umuntu osesikhundleni unawo amandla akwazi ukwasebenzisa ngendlela asebenzisa ngayo akwazi ukuqhubeka esikhundleni ngiyazi ukuthi akufani ngaleyo ndlela ama systems angafani but nje uhighlighta kuleli point le power ukuthi usebenza kanje point le power.
Yeah, mfethu oh sorry.
So kusebenza kanjani?
Yeah, but njoba yabona it's njoba ngisho ukuthi ngiyacabanga ukuthi uXi Jinping usazohlala eminye iminyaka nje mhlawumbe omunye 10 years ukuthi angikho sure ngeminyaka yakho kwamanje but ubukeke safithi kumina. The reason ngi confident angaka ekuthenini usangahlala isikhathi eside is because if ubheka in his term of office China ithole i-development efast ngendlela eyisimanga. Yabo. So he's doing good for the country. I think if ehlala in office kuningi futhi okunye okuhle okusangenzeka for izwe lase-China. So ingakho nje confident in terms of la amanye amazwe like Taiwan, Hong Kong and Macau. I'm not sure because because bona they are adamant ukuthi bafuna ukuba independent manje. So would they ever fall under China again? I'm not sure ngalapho mfethu, but yeah, there's a serious war enzakalayo nje between lama 4 countries, Macau, Taiwan, Hong Kong, the mainland China.
Now, what's
angikho sure noma ifoni yakho yini kodwa I think a video idlala a couple of seconds or a minutes behind. I can hear myself speaking phinde ngizwe now.
Angithi wena ukwe 5G mina ngikusa. No, wena ukwe 5G sina sikilo cause no, I think it's because of angazi nginayisho ngizazi. I think it's because of the
ngenza ukuthi khona ujoin late. Ngenza ukuthi view mhlawumbe.
So now you want to tell us ukuthi ayikho term limit and umjida usangahlala for another 10. I think kuma 60s, I'm not sure. I remember a story sakhe lo mjida lo he was quite popular, the guy who came before Xi Jinping. He was quite popular and it was expected ukuthi uzowina and waye leader lo. So ngifuna ukuthi kunale perception kwipolitiki yase South Africa ukuthi umuntu owinayo must be a popular leader. If a technocrat asimfuni, but he must be popular. Asimfuni umuntu ozongabi popular, asimfuni umuntu ongaculi. Yabo. Kunabantu abajabulayo ukuthi umongameli for example okhona manje akuseyona umongameli oculayo. Yabo. Yena umongameli usakuseyo umongameli oculayo, sikhathela abantu abaculayo masiphumule siyabonga. Yabo. So ukuthi sometimes it doesn't work like that ukuthi akwenzeki ukuthi sibe nomongameli ozocula, sibe nomongameli ozodansa. There's nothing wrong ukucula, there's nothing wrong ukudansa, but asifuna umuntu ozosiphatha, sifuna umuntu ozositshengisa, sifuna umuntu ozosibonisa kahle kahle indaba yokudansa neyokucula so buye siyibone ngelinye ilanga, yabo. So I don't think when it came to power on corrector ngingazi, I don't think he was popular when he came to power. I don't think ngingazi manje ukuthi upopular yini, but what I think about him, he understand power and understand how to use his power. Ukuthi he's a mechanical leader or he's a popular leader or he's just a technocrat who does not care about popular but he understands power.
So he understands power so much and njengoba watubeka, he wasn't popular before he became president, and there was no need. All he needed was to be known kwi party and would see he's fit to take position. As for the rest of the country, asikho isidingo because vele abana rights ekuthenini bengamkhetha or bengamsusa i-country as a whole. It's just the party kuphela enaleyo power. And here's was the point, man. Liyabaleka-ke manje. So mfethu ileyo nto eke mhlambe iphinde ilimaze abantu with democracy, yabo. Because if kukuthi wonke umuntu usevunyelwe ukuthi adedele umbono wakhe, imbono mningi, wonke umuntu nombono wakhe ohlukile, yabo. So ileyo nto eke ibooste iChina in terms of decision making and ukuthi izinto ze-excela fast kanganani. It's because abantu abanayo opinion. Government just states it and genzek. Yeah. So for us that's very different because if normally like let's say for instance which it's a good thing ngisho ukuthi them like isona yabo sona izokwenzeka izodebate emva kokudebate president aphinda aphendule. So izinto ithatha isikhathi lapha, but that's just one example. Izinto ithatha isikhathi lapha yabo if kuzoloke you up back and forth. I'm not saying ukuthi mhlambe we should lose the democracy, no, but okubalekile ukuthi i-process ekuthi if you go action faster is always better.
Sizwe yakithi ngiyabonga kakhulu asiyiqhube le ndaba.
Yeah, mfowethu.
Asiyiqhube le ndaba ngizoba inkinga yethu yesikhathi. Xolise lapho we just have to find out ukuthi siyenza kanjani nini. Mhlambe soyenza kanye ngesonto either kuthe 6 hours ahead cathi soku 12 manje kuwena noma kuthele lokuze 12 kufanele ulala ngazi ulala kini ngasikhathini zonke lezi zinto but we'll work around time and so zama ukuthi singenze ukuthi ngihlele ukuthi mangizokhuluma nawe ngilokhuze ngisho so that siyazi ukuthi sikhuluma ngani so nabantu bangangithethisi bangithethe ukuthi ngikhuluma ngani I'll fix that. Njengoba ngishilo ukuthi senze history thina so manje ziyahlula lezi zinto kancane asikayijwayele so kuzokuthatha isikhathi sijwayele but mfowethu ngiyabonga kakhulu fundo okuningi and ulwazi lwakho nangokuba nje exposed sometimes ubona izinto eziningi nje ngokuthi ube exposed and nokuthi uvumile ukuthi wavuma ukuthi ngiyaphuma eSouth Africa ngihambe and ufunda izinto eziningi kubantu abaphumile abenza izinto ukuthi njengoba sengishilo sathi amathuba omsebenzi awekho but wena wabuka ngamehla akho wathi hayi actually amathuba omsebenzi akhona ngapplyile eSouth Africa but uba nothi nga-apply eChina uba nothi nga-apply eLondon eAmerica so if usu-apply emhlaba wonke then usungasho ukuthi amathuba omsebenzi awekho so but mawuthi usa-apply eChina kuvuleke hambe ekhona osebenza khona ukuthi siyayidinga leyo mentality siyadinga futhi mhlambe nemhlaba noma nezo la khona itechnology yakhona izohamba izifike kulezi izinga lokuthi ngisho kuthusha la yabona nje umuntu ngenza lento yenzeka kwamanye amazwe la uthi uma uvuka ekseni ngithatha iplane ngokwenza ibhizinisi ngifike ngisayina ibhizinisi eNigeria ngisuke la mhlambe ngo-8 ngifike ngo-12 khona ngibuye ngidlule eNairobi ngibuye ngo-11 ebusuku ngivale Cape Town ukuthi we need to have that kind of a system noma a continent la khona sizoba na 24 hours time ukwenza ibhizinisi and sibe ne continent la khona ukuthi ngingasebenza eThekwini but ngihlala eCape Town because istimela ngithathe hour noma kune plane ukuthi ngingavuka ekseni ngihamba so we need to create la ama avenues njengoba kwenzeka kwezinye indawo nasemhlabeni ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukuthi baphile babe right khona ukuthi ukukhuluma kwethu akusiko ukukhuluma because abanye bethu bayile esikoleni bafundile and they are exposed but ugcineni fanele kube nezinto esimayikhuluma and sibe nama platforms esiwakhaya and sibe mesisiyolobhisha kuhulumeni silobhishe because sinamazinto ezi-concrete ey'bambekayo ukuthi kungenzeka ngo-1 no-2 no-3 futhi siyabona ukuthi yini into engakwenza ukuthi kwenzeke because ama-resources nama-avenues ukuthi sikwazi ukwenza akhona.
Number one, I think ubeke njengoba kunjalo mfethu. Nami ngiyajabula mfethu ukuthi sibe nale ingxoxo sibe nayo namhlanje, and ngingakujabulela kakhulu ukuthi siphinde siyenze mfethu because namhlanje yazi ukuthi sikhulume a few hours ago lento, and konke kwenzeka fast, so bekubeka lokho kufikayo nje ngaleso sikhathi. But I think if kukuthi we do it more often than not, then it will keep on getting better, because ezinye izinto uyazazi ukuthi zike-develop ngendlela yabo, uyakwazi ukuthi uthi ukhuluma then ufikelwe idea in between the lines you're delivering. And I think nathi ngenzeka kugcina kube khona into impactful ngempela eqhamukayo in between ama-conversations akanje, because it's important that we talk about these things so that people stay awoke to them, and that's like the first step. Once people become conscious of what is happening and realize the actual truth and separate the truth from the myth, then corrective action is about actual corrective action, if you know what I mean. Because if kuguti abantu have the wrong idea, like njengoba wabeka indaba ye-5G and abantu destroy ama-towers, bona bathi bathatha corrective action yabo, but it's the wrong action. So abantu need to have the right information on the action they take kube ukuthi iyona ngempela edingakalayo. So ama-conversations akanjena mfethu abalulekile, nathi we have to play our role.
Thank you, mfowethu.
Bonga mina mfethu.